Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Almasri, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We're back with my friend Talyn, the post Diplomat. We're talking about how your personal brand can be a magnet for your dream clients. So, Talyn, you mentioned before the break that you had a $20,000 client just because you had her on the show and you did the personal brand analysis. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so this is a new format that I'm trying. I'm no longer meeting people unless it's for my content. So I'm trying to hit two birds with one stone. This is content for me so people can actually see what I do with my clients without meeting me. On top of that, I'm giving that individual visibility. And on top of that, I'm giving them free advice that is quite high level that they can go off and implement themselves. But Nora, it's not a soft touch when it comes to the review. I tell my guests, do you want the boss mode where I give you no filter? It's very direct and it might sting you a little bit. Or do you want the kiddie gloves where I can give you a more gentle touch? No one's ever taken the soft option. So when I give them a hard review, I give them a hard review. And sometimes I have to gauge, am I going to make this person cry because of what I'm saying? But I also give them a lot of really positive feedback because your personal brand is already inside you. My job is to pull it out. So once I pull it out and I show them what they're capable of, they get so amped up. They get so much energy by the end of the show because I'm showing them these are the things that you're doing wrong, but these are the things you could be doing right because you're already doing it. And they don't know that.
That's awesome. And do you find resistance when you do that?
No, because I tell them right from the beginning, you choose. Do you want easy mode or do you want hard mode? If they go for
Yeah.
hard mode, which is 100%, I've never had someone say they want the easy mode. They know what they're expecting. So they are prepped in advance. They know exactly what to expect on the show. And by the end of it, they know exactly what they need for their business as well.
That's awesome. And like for someone like who's doing the branding is over there in front of everyone. But how would you say like someone has a sensitive information like from the client we like for let's take me as an example, right? So I work on their books, I work on their taxes. All of these are confidential information. So and there's a lot of other jobs like would be a lot of confidential. How would you recommend doing the same concept but without compromising the information?
Yeah, I think one of the things that you could potentially do is where are they losing the biggest amount of money? And what have they been ignoring in their taxes that is actually not benefiting them or could benefit them? So if there's something that they've decided, I'm going to emit this information, you're basically will be saying, well, if you emit this tiny little box, you could be fined this amount automatically. And that's a huge liability to you. I think another thing that you could potentially do is teaching your clients what is a liability, what is an asset, what is an expense, what is an income. Because I think the average person actually do not understand this. If you have too many expenses, that is actually not good for you. If you have too many liabilities, that's not good for you. So how can you turn your liabilities into an asset? But how can you ensure that you keep the taxes low by having all of these assets and expenses? I think those are the kind of things that you could do without too much confidential information.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I did one time like a fake tax return, and
Yeah.
I did the YouTube on that, like just explaining line by line because it really hits me like a lot of people don't understand how to read their tax returns. And especially, for example, mostly men take care of their taxes. Like there are women who take care of the taxes and working with the tax professional, but they don't understand how to read it. And the problem with that, you have to sign. So whether you understand or not, you have to sign. So you are liable for anything that you are doing. So I did that video like about okay, how do you read it? Just the highlight information. And I loved it, but that's about it. Like I didn't do something like illustrated like that after that, but this is like a good way to have people understand it more. But What other ways, like you would say, like you would push your personal brand to attract more client, other than like having a video or podcast? What would you say another way to do that?
So visibility is absolutely the most important thing. It doesn't matter which platform you choose. Some people are comfortable with just LinkedIn. Other people want to go all out and do videos on YouTube and Instagram. So it depends on your comfort level. Some people only want to do blogs, and that's absolutely fine. But you really have to be consistent. You can't just post once a month and expect something to happen because other
Mm,
people are posting 3 times a day. That's your competition. So you really have to dial down on how often you're showing up. But then what is the call to action? What do you expect to get by sharing this information? Do you want more followers? If you want more followers, what's the purpose behind that? Or do you want to turn them into clients? Clients do not buy high ticket just by looking at a blog or watching a video. They will buy something for free or something like which is really, really cheap, something below $100. Just think of how you consume information and how you make decisions. Guess what? Your customers and your clients are going to do exactly the same thing to you. So flip it and see, how do you consume information? What is the best way you like to consume information? And then flip it, put a mirror in front of it and try to do the same thing for your business as well.
mhm. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Talyn, for that. So in this area, like I heard, like, did you hear like about TikTok is not going to be banned, and a lot of people like moving to whatever road notes or whatever that is, and changing the platform. A lot of people like now they don't know what should we do. Like, should we be in this platform or the other platform? And you kind of mentioned like choose your platform, but a lot of time like people see, oh, okay, because when TikTok started, like there was a lot of opportunities for businesses because there's not too many people there as a business owner. And now maybe they see the opportunities and the other platforms coming up. But that might be a distraction sometimes. Sometimes it's good for the business. From a personal brand point of view, what would you say is the best approach?
Yeah, that's a tricky one because I recently just had someone on my show who has 132,000 followers on TikTok, and that's it. So she's about to lose a massive audience. So my advice to that client was, you have over 500 videos already. Repurpose all of that content onto Instagram and repurpose it onto YouTube Shorts. She's got 2.5 years worth of content. So I told her, look, your content is evergreen, right? It has no timeline. So your content that you created 2 years ago is still relevant today. Repurpose that. Start working on your products and refining your services, and add every content that you add on other platforms onto your website, because your website is your headquarters. If you're not sharing the same information on your website like you are on all of the other platforms, guess what? The same thing could happen. Instagram could go down, or Facebook could go down, or any other social media platform. They can go tomorrow, but your website is your home. It's not going anywhere. So
Mhm.
make sure that every single content that you are posting online, you post it on your website first.
Okay, so let's focus on this. So how do they post it on their website? Like just in a regular website as in a video, not a link to YouTube or anything. Right.
Not just like as a blog, I would say. So if you do
Mhm,
have a 30-second reel that you want to share it on your blog, but then add some more context to it. And then that link to Instagram or TikTok, it still lives on that platform, but you're just linking it to another page on your website. And
mhm,
then if you know anything about SEO, so search engine optimization, you want
mhm.
to make sure that you get more traffic coming onto your website than any of those other platforms. You don't want to send people away from your website. You want to hold them onto your website as much as possible, because that's where the sale should happen. It shouldn't happen outside. You want to attract people to your website as
Mhm.
much as possible and keep them inside your website.
Absolutely. Thank you. This is a great advice. Um, Now, what, how can people work with you? Like, where do they find you? And what's the recommendation? I know like maybe every client is different, but like tell us the process for
Yeah,
and
so
do they find you?
yeah, the process is very simple. So you can find me on Instagram at Boss Diplomat. That's where I usually engage with people directly. So if you have a message for me, I will be messaging you back directly. The other thing you could do is go to bossdiplomat.com and apply to be a guest on my show. This is how you're going to get a brand review for your business. If you decided, you know what, I just want to work with you directly, right on the homepage, there's a way for you to get a 90-minute deep dive in your business. That's another way that you can work with me. So those would be the main ways to get in touch.
Thank you so much, Talyn. Thank you, guys. Like, I'll see you after the break. This is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We'll be right back.